Let's go on a little book recommendation journey from Jack Reacher all the way to Lord of the Rings. How are we going to do it? Let's see. What's up, beasties? It's me, Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm excited for today's video. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a little, if you like this, try this. If you like that, try that. I don't think that's what any of it's called. But anyway, I've been thinking about this video for a while. I have a favorite series that is right in the middle of all the things I like. And we're going to swing one way and then swing all the way back the other way. And we're going to go, by the time all's said and done, from Jack Reacher all the way to Lord of the Rings. It's going to be fun. So if you haven't yet, please grab a snack and a thirst-quenching refreshment, such as this Coke Zero. Oh yeah. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this crazy ride of book recommendations. Let's do it. All right, so the book that I'm going to start with is the first book in one of my favorite series of all time by F. Paul Wilson. It is called The Tomb. This is the Repairman Jack series. Focuses on Jack, who is a repairman. He's a fixer. He fixes things for people that they cannot fix for themselves, or situations they cannot fix themselves. It's based in New York City. This book was actually written as part of a quartet back in the 80s by F. Paul Wilson. He had 4 different characters in 4 different books, and then he had them all come together to fight a evil villain monstrosity in a 5th book. But people loved Repairman Jack so much that he gave him his own series, and it just, I think there's like 20 books. There's a lot of books, but it's a lot of fun. Favorite series, really got me into reading for most of my young adulthood, and it has a special place in my heart. Love this series. So Jack is, like I said, he lives off the grid. He has a lot of money and stuff squared away. He doesn't have a social security number so that the government can't find him. He's very has gadgets, and he's super smart, but he carries himself in a way that's very unassuming, even though he knows how to fight, and he's really smart and all that kind of stuff. But he's just a regular dude, and there's a light supernatural twist. He'll take on a case to help someone, and then somehow there always ends up being just a smidgen of supernaturalness to it. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to swing away from the supernatural stuff, and then we'll go the other way. So with Repairman Jack, if you like the sound of a vigilante living in the city, helping people out, but living off the grid so that the government can't find him, then you should definitely check out Orphan X by Greg Hurwitz. This is an awesome series, very much like Jack Reacher, Repairman Jack. This focuses on Evan Smoke. He is known as the Nowhere Man. That's his vigilante name. He has a lot of money because as a kid, he was in an orphanage, and the government started this secret program to take orphans out of orphanages, place them with a handler that taught them how to fight and how to become assassins. Luckily for Evan, he got a guy that loved him like a son and wanted him to maintain his humanity. And then he did some bad stuff for the government, eventually breaks free and kind of lives anonymously, and helps people out as the Nowhere Man to make up for the bad things he did when he was an assassin. But anyway, that's pretty early on you learn that. None of that spoilers. It sets up the series. But this is awesome. this has 9 books, and the 10th one comes out next year, and it's excellent. Very like a realistic Batman without a costume kind of thing, helping people. Very cool. Found family sidekick. It's awesome. This is an excellent series. Very similar to Repairman Jack, helping people out off the grid, but no supernatural to it. Now, if you like the idea of a character who gets the bad guys, maybe there and has some found family, some side characters that you can root for, but maybe you want your protagonist to be a little unhinged, a little out there, do some really bad things. Well, if that's what you're thinking, then I've got just the series for you, and that would be the Dexter series by Jeff Lindsay. Now, all these are series that I've either read all the books in, or the first book, or the first couple, and I don't always have the book 1 for them, but I think this is like book 3 or 4. But maybe you've watched the show, maybe you haven't, maybe you've read the books, maybe you've done neither. You're in for a treat. The books are a lot of fun. This focuses on Dexter, of course, and he is similar to Orphan X. As a kid, he is adopted. He was in an orphanage, but he gets adopted by a policeman, a detective, and right away he can see that Dexter has some problems. He catches him killing and torturing animals and like all this stuff, but he knows that someday he might become a serial killer. So he teaches him some rules that he can only kill people that really deserve it. And then Dexter grows up and he gets a job as a forensic scientist for the LA police department, and it's pretty sweet. And then he's secretly going after people that he finds out about through his job and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. This series is awesome. You should definitely check it out. So if that was too far, if you're like, oh, that sounds a little too creepy, I don't want that. So maybe you like the protagonist who's going after the bad guys, but you don't want him to be so crazy that he's just serial killer crazy. But you like the idea of an unhinged good guy who's getting revenge. Well, then I've got the series for you, Terminal List by Jack Carr. This focuses on James Reese. There was a TV series, 1 season of it with Chris Pratt, which is pretty good. But James Reese, he is a soldier, was in charge of some other soldiers. Some bad things happen. He comes back home. He's trying to figure out why he's getting blamed for it. He feels bad, but he knows he didn't do anything wrong. And then a tragedy happens, and he kind of loses it and decides he's going to take down all the people that have wronged him. Very almost Punisher-ish. Not quite that intense, but very cool. One-man army, sweet book, sweet series. Only read the first 2, but I definitely want to read some more. Very cool. All right, so if you like that idea, but you're like, lose me all the found family stuff. I just want a guy that's just traveling around the world and just taking people out and on the run, living off the grid. Really cool, fun series. Well, then, The Gray Man by Mark Graney is for you. This focuses on the Gray Man. What is his name? Gentry is his name. Court Gentry. He's an assassin, really cool character. He gets kind of like not blacklisted, but basically, and he has all these people after him, and he's on the run. And there was a movie about this too that was made with Ryan Gosling, pretty good. But he's on the run. He's trying to live off the grid. He has assassins and people after him all the time, so he doesn't really have time for family and all that stuff. But he's a very cool character, so if you like that, this is the series for you. But now you're saying, oh, that's too much. I want to slow it down. I want a little bit of found family maybe sprinkled in, maybe a little bit of a character living life and then also moving around and like helping people out here and there. Well, then that's where Jack Reacher comes in, by Lee Child. First book here, Killing Floor. Jack Reacher is former military policeman, and he is out, and he just wants to kind of travel around the world, see things, um, take odd jobs here and there, and just kind of live life and without any strings tying him down. So he's just doing that, but then there ends up being a murder he's connected to in the first book, and he kind of gets thrown into the middle of some things. But this series is a lot of fun. It's always kind of like a case of the week. Whatever city he happens to be in, he gets pulled into something, and then usually he moves on once things get solved. But a lot of fun. So again, if you like your protagonist to be moving around, living life, no strings attached, helping people, case of the week, Jack Reacher's for you. If you like your protagonist on the run, crazy, all over the world, but no found family, no really time to breathe, go, 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 on the move, he's getting chased, BA character, Gray Man is for you. If you like a little found family, but maybe some tragedy, and the main character becomes a little unhinged to get revenge on those that wronged him, Terminal List is for you. If you like your protagonist very unhinged, then Dexter is for you. If you like that found family vigilante, but not a serial killer, then Orphan X is for you. And if you like all of that, but maybe a little supernatural twist, the Tomb Repairman Jack is for you. All right, so we swung to the left. Now we're going to swing back and go the other way. All right, so if you like the sound of Repairman Jack, living in a city that you know, helping people out, you like that supernatural, maybe you want to kick it up, well, Dresden Files is for you. Harry Dresden is a wizard. He announces that to everyone. He lives in Chicago. He's a PI, and he takes on cases and helps people out when there's magic involved, supernatural involved. There's found family in this. It is amazing. It's so much fun. And sometimes early on in the series, it can be a little monster of the week. So if you like that part, if you like a little monster of the week feel, and you liked the show Supernatural, well then, the first book in this series is called Nightlife. I think that might be the name of the series. But a couple brothers who are monster hunters. This is book 2, Moonshine, by Rob Thurman. Nightlife is the first book. This is a really fun series. Two brothers hunting monsters and supernatural horror, urban fantasy. A lot of fun. So if you like that monster of the week, this is for you. Maybe you don't like the monsters. Maybe you like a nice protagonist who can see ghosts. Maybe ghosts is your thing, huh? Well, then I've got a pretty sweet one for you. The Odd Thomas series by Dean Koontz. Odd Thomas is a fry cook, very nice guy. He makes some really good cookies and pancakes, but he can see ghosts. He can see dead people. So this is an amazing series. He usually tries to help out these ghosts by helping to give them peace, to solve their murder, or to figure out why they're still here. They can't talk. They can motion. They can show up to try to get him to see things, and he has to investigate on his own. Sometimes if there's a lot of spirits showing up, it means something bad's going to happen. So sometimes he'll do that too. But a very cool series, a lot of fun. So maybe ghosts aren't your thing. Maybe you don't want a regular human in the supernatural stuff. Maybe you want a supernatural main protagonist. Maybe an angel, like Remy Chandler in the Remy Chandler series by Thomas Snegoski. This is a lot of fun. Remy Chandler is an angel, but he fell in love with a human and he wanted to stay with her. So he gave up his angelness. Or no, he didn't give up his angelness. He decided to stay with her on Earth, but since he's an angel, he's immortal, and she's growing old, and that's kind of where the first one kicks off. But he's a PI. There's a lot of angel and demon stuff in it. So maybe it's very fun, awesome series. But if you don't like the angel side, maybe you want to get a little spicy. Maybe you want the demon side. Well, then in that case, Sandman Slim is for you by Richard Cadre. This is a fun series. Deals with a demon who gets out of hell, comes to Earth. Well, Earth Earth, I guess, right? And possesses somebody, and is trying to hide from demons and the devil and hell. And this is a pretty fun series. And hey, maybe angels, demons, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you like the creature of the week, but you like your protagonist to be a little evil, kind of a little like a demon, but not quite. Maybe a mixture of demonic qualities and human. Well, maybe a vampire. Well, in that case, Jay Kristoff's Empire of the Vampire is right up your alley. A very cool fantasy horror world, very dark. We've got Gabriel De Leon, who is a mix of a human and a vampire, but fights against vampires. This is an amazing story, very cool, beautiful writing and prose, with just lines and dialogue that's hilarious, but lines that are just beautiful and poetic. And if that's your kind of thing in the fantasy genre, well then Robin Hobb Farseer trilogy would be for you. Um, Especially if you don't like your main character being put through the ringer. Oh wait, that's not what I hear happens in this. But this is a lot of fun. I have not read it yet, but I'm going to soon because it's one that's been on my TBR forever. But I had to include it because I thought that was a great segue between Empire of the Vampire and our next book. If you like the fantasy, watching a character grow up through their lifetime with beautiful prose, well, how about a little fantasy sci-fi with Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio? The Sun Eater series deals with Hadrian Marlowe. Uh, it starts off with his story where he's a child, a teenager, and what he's dealing with, how he ends up lost away from his family, and starts on his journey to who he will become. But this is a great series, an awesome start to it. And if you like sci-fi fantasy, but maybe you want things a little edgier, a little darker, well, then I would check out Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is a fun series. I've talked about it before on the channel. Class system, reds are the lowest, gold are the highest, and then there's colors all the way in between. Our boy Darrow is the main character. He's a red. Tragedy happens. He blames the golds, so he joins with a group that's going to go after these golds and get his revenge. Pretty sweet. There's a lot of found family, some great friendships, brotherhood in this. If you like that, brotherhood, found family, but maybe you want things more back in the fantasy area, a little more humor, well, then you should check out Greatcoats by Sebastian D. Castell. Trader's Blade is the first one. Deals with our boy Falcio Valmond and Kest and Brasti. Kind of like the Three Musketeers. They're hilarious together. Their banter's great. This is a cool fantasy world, swashbuckling adventure. But maybe you want things a little darker. Maybe you like the humor, but you want things a little darker. Well, then, let's go grimdark and let's go First Law World by Joe Abercrombie with the blade itself. This is a lot of fun. Amazing characters you won't forget. Lots of dark humor, quest, adventures, um, everything you need. But maybe you want a little less humor. Maybe you like the grim, dark world of this, but you don't like that humor in there. Maybe you just want it to be dark, maybe a little more visceral. Well, maybe you like the politics in it and you like the grim darkness of it. Well, then Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin is for you. This probably doesn't need much introduction, but great politics, great world building. There's a war going on, different people vying for the Iron Throne and to be king, and it's pretty awesome. This is a lot of fun. And if you like the classic feel of this, where you've got traveling groups. You've got someone trying to rise up and take power, but maybe it's a little too dark for you. Maybe you want a story of, oh, I don't know, a farm boy and his friends going on a quest because he's the chosen one. Well, then, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time is for you. Great characters going on a quest, chosen one. Oh, man, that sounds a little similar to something else. Maybe the most classic fantasy quest book of all time. And that would be Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. And that, my friends, is how we get from Jack Reacher to Lord of the Rings. All right, guys. That was a lot of fun to make. Hopefully I can do some more like that down the road. These are all series I love or books that I love that I need to finish the series. Leave me some comments and let me know what you thought of this. If you've read any of these, maybe try a couple, what's it called with Kevin Bacon? Like where it tends, you can separate so far from Kevin Bacon and relate him to anybody. But anyway, this was a lot of fun. If you haven't yet and you like my content, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. And I'd love to see you here in the next video. And like I said, leave me a comment. I love to chat with you guys down there and let me know what you think of all this. But until I see you in the next video, beasties, devour those TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see ya.